Hello again, another hour, another presentation. And this time we will have a story. Well, you know, highload comes in a multitude of different topics and stories. And this time the story is about the dashboards. And I'm happy to invite on stage Anton Bystrov from Percona and Simbirsoft. And he will talk about how to create a dashboard story for highload. Please welcome Anton on stage.
Let's introduce myself. As I mentioned, my name is Anton. I'm DevOps engineer. I'm working with dashboards, and I very like to talk about monitoring. And let's today talk about monitoring and about our user story, how we created story dashboard. I think there are no reason to talk about why we need monitoring, but I think I should mention why we catch our issue and what we're doing and how we solve it. When you have a small application, there are no any problems to import community dashboards and using it and check every metric in our system. But when you have a high load, you catch some issues with performance, with a lot of metrics, a lot of panels, and when you check every metric at your dashboard, you check it, scroll down, your browser working slowly, and after some time you can catch timeout. This is bad. This is really bad. And we catch this issue. And I mentioned it some later. Now I want to talk about what do we monitor. We prepare product with name Percona monitoring and management. This is completely application for monitoring databases in different environments, and it's contain Grafana. And when you open PMM, the first thing what you can see, this is a home dashboard, our main dashboard, which contains all metrics about all nodes in our system. What kind of metrics and what metrics do we have? We have some kind of metrics. First, metric about CPU busy. Second, about disk input output. Next, about host uptime and about memory. Looks like completely and full metric for understanding what's happened and what's the status of our system. Sounds good, but when you have a lot of nodes, as I mentioned earlier, maybe 100, 200, 300 and more, you can see this picture. When you scroll down, scroll, and after some time you see something like this. Some panels are empty. Why? Because the system is sending request, but not get response. Why? And some of our customers and some guys from another teams is report and give feedback about this issue. Makes sense, and we need to investigate why this happened and where is our bottleneck. And for investigating, we prepare instance with about 200 nodes and check what's happened and why it's happened. We try to reproduce this issue and find these things. That loading time is more than 2 minutes, about 3 minutes. This is crazy. Why this happened? Let's check. We check queries, check browser, and see what we have a lot of queries, because we have a lot of panels. Each panel send a response, send requests. I'm sorry, and get a response. And a lot of requests, and browser have a big query, and we have a lot, very big time of loading. And this is the first issue. And the next issue, this is a lazy loading. This is GAFAN mechanism, which prevent performance issue when we scroll our page. Information is loading when we're scrolling. It may be good, but in our case, this is a bottleneck, like here, because data from at upper panels are present, and here it is absent. And after it, we think, what can we do here? And let's investigate. We should know what can we do and how we can fix it. We try to investigate about some dashboards construct methods. We check for golden signals. As you know, with a strategy from SRE books from Google, and check use and write metrics. After we read all this manuals, we looks like this man. Because a lot of information, a lot of graphs, a lot of colors, but let's deep dive some. About four golden signals. Now, what say to us this book? We have four kind of important metrics. First of it, this is latency. What does it mean? It means how much time it takes to service our request. What does it mean? We send request to our system, and when we get response from the system. And this time is very important. It means how healthy and how correctly work our system. But here are some important things. We can get our response with helpful information, and we can get response with error. From this metric, it's identical, and we should differentiate with responses. The next important metric is a traffic. What does it mean? It means how much demand is being placed in your system. For HTTP requests, it's mean how many requests per second. For another types of systems, maybe for audio is it rate of input output. For databases, it's queries per second. It's very important to understand how fully working our system and what's how it's loaded. It helpful with another metrics, and let's check. As I mentioned earlier, the next important metric is this is errors. It's mean rate of requests that fail. How many requests get fails. The next, this is saturation. How full is our system is. It's very important to understand how our system is loading and how much resources it's using in our system, and sometimes it helps to prevent performance issue, because if in some system is about 90 or about more percent is loading, it's can catch performance issue. And the next kind of strategies, this is a rate strategy. What does it mean? From first letters, R, rate, request per seconds, is for golden signals. E, errors, how many requests return error to us. And D, duration, or latency, the time it takes to request our response. And the last strategy is a use strategy. U, utilization, how fully our resource is utilized. C, saturation, how long clear for in our resources at these resources. And E, how many errors do we have at this system. When we try to compile all this strategy, After it, our tech lead Danny Guzman Burgos create a proof of concept of our new home dashboard. It's look like this, and let's talk about panels which contains which in this dashboard. The first is overview row. It contains from monitoring nodes, uptime of each of this node, and database instance at this node, and some more about disk input-output operations and about our secret feature, environment health. And the main feature of this dashboard is anomaly detection. What does it mean? It is very helpful. This panels give our very simple answer, all good or all bad. And when we look at these panels, we can say our system something happened, because here we can see red color or all good, and I can drink my morning coffee because nothing to do. And next main row is a command center. Here we can check more information, more metrics, and more detailed level about all our hardware metrics, about CPU, memory, disk input-output operations, compare it with previous week, and check what's happened in previous week to understand about how many resources more or bigger or smaller with comparison with previous week. Here the same. You can quickly check the health of your system and with metrics what's happened. And the last, this is a service summary. Here we can see services about services and databases. And left column, name of your instance. At the center, how much connections do you have to this database? The next, how many requests per second do you have? And about database uptime. This is a full, and now dashboards is looking more better, but we want more. What can we do? After we show our proof of concept to our another teams, we got some feedback, and we decide that we need some refactoring and some implement to make it more completely and more helpful. And what we do? We added some descriptions and added some colors, because description no anomalies is not clear. What does it mean, no anomalies? For one people, no anomalies is maybe for CPU is less than 70%. For another, maybe less for 80%. And here we add descriptions. CPU consumptions is under 90%. I think this is clear for all. And the same for disks, for memory, and other panels. Also, we have only two panels about memory and disk. Maybe we want more, I think here. And we try to add more. We add detections and panels for another metrics. We added panels like memory, because memory uses from three main metrics: CPU, memory, and disk input outputs. And also we added one interesting panel, low CPU. Why? Sometime in your environment you can have nodes which have a very low loading, and maybe you can kill it to prevent pay more money in the cloud. And here, when we have a CPU is about 30%, here we catch alert, and here you can see this nodes, and you can check what's happened. As I mentioned above, why we call our dashboard story. When you catch some issue, some error at your system, you can see red color at the panel. And at the panel, you can see where something happened and why something, not why, digits about what's happened. As with sample, you can see PG12 and 97%. And you can click by your mouse at this panel, and you can drill down to another dashboard. For CPU is not summary, for memory is a specific dashboard for memory, and you can understand what's happened in your system at the bottom layer and more detailed level. Okay, and we also change some things in our overview panel. We add detailed information about what kind of database do we have in our monitoring system. We removed some panels because it's unused after feedback. And our feature, we add the filters to add the dashboard story. What does it mean? We added filter environment. You can choose it, and when you, for example, you have an environment production, test, and development. When you choose production environment, I think you can see, you want to see at node names only node from this environment. You don't want to see nodes from test or development environments. And then you can check the node what you want, and this is a very simple. And the last, what goes and why I think what we win. Our old home dashboard is loading is more than 2-3 minutes, and let's check about new dashboard. Its loading time is about 12 seconds. I think this is a win. And also our main goals, this is a very simple. You should not check all digits and think here maybe for 60%, 70%, what does it mean? Is all good, is all bad? Here is very simple question, simple answer, all good, all bad, nothing else. And you can drink your morning coffee after you check your home dashboard. What I think about it. And thank you. You can see our demo at this QR code.
Right, thank you for your presentation. Now it's time for questions. Right, here in the middle of the room, please.
Thank you for the,
Just wait for a microphone.
thank you for the presentation. Does it work? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, one more time, thank you for the presentation. And as you have mentioned, sometimes it's very hard to understand how critical the problem is, and do you need to act now? And to make these decisions, sometimes these technical characteristics such as CPU usage, memory usage, network usage is not enough, because if you still can serve the customers, maybe it is not that critical and you can finish your coffee and then go there. But if you are losing the customers, maybe you need to finish all right now and go and fix that. And by saying this, many product teams also want to see some kind of product-related metrics, business logic-related metrics. Did you consider to put this kind of data in these metrics?
Makes sense, but here we try to make these dashboards simpler as we can do it. Because here we answer very simple question from hardware side, all good, all bad, nothing else. Because if we add more metric, we can lose our idea about health dashboard. If I answer to your question, maybe we implement after some time with functionality. You can choose some specific or custom panels as you want, or you can drill down to at this panels and check metrics what you want.
Right, any other questions? Gentleman over there, please.
Yeah, thank you for the talk. Grafana has a built-in alerting mechanism. Do you have some preset alerts for your dashboard?
Not now. With alerting working another team. Here our goal is alert visual alerting, and also we have alerting in some messengers too. But your main goal, when you open this dashboard, you very quick can check status of your system.
Yeah, thank you. Not always we see it that that's broad, but alerting could help.
Not understand? Please
I
repeat.
mean, we not always watching the dashboard. But
Sure,
when we
sure.
have alerting in our messaging.
Sure. You have two ways. You can get alert what's happened, and you can check dashboard what's happened.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, thanks. Any other questions?
I'm sorry. As you want, you can make settings for alerting in some messengers, or you can maybe you don't want to do it. Maybe you want to sleep and do not wake up when your phone is ringing.
Yes, I mean you can have preset up alerting, but disabled.
Not sure.
To make it easier to just enable and have it.
Not ready to understand. I suggest to talk after.
Exactly. We can definitely continue this discussion afterwards in the hallway. Right. Any other remaining questions? And do I really need to remind you that questions might earn you some memorable prizes from this event, right? All right. I motivated another attendee for questions. Please, a microphone there to the middle of the room. Thank you. Over here.
One more question. Did you make some analysis to understand the number of metrics which should be visible there? Because we can try to, if you think, we can think of infinite number of metrics. Did you make some analysis that a user, when opens the page, the number of metrics will be not that much or not that less?
Sure. We have an issue that we have sometimes a lot of metrics on one page. And this dashboard is the first from another dashboards where we try to reduce all metrics and show only few information and only important information. And we try to split our dashboards to two kinds. One of them is a health dashboard, like this, where we can check only all good, all bad, and another kind of dashboards, which is a dashboards where we can check what's happened in our system about digits, metrics, and many other things.
Excellent, thank you. Really last call. So I had one while listening to your presentation, but the gentleman over asked a rather simple one, and mine was so if you have these multicolored dashboards or windows, so how does that relate to alerts? So if something is really broken, you better get notified immediately in an invisible way, and if it just shows the background of another color, that might not be as proactively say noticed, but you mostly covered that, so I think I also got an answer to my question. So that means we are moving to the last part. Now you need to choose who is the winner here.
I think Chrisman.
So can you be specific? Or who out of
middle.
Here in the middle, right? So please, your memorabilia gift for your best question for this session. And with this, we are coming to the end. So our speaker is over here, and I really suggest that you continue those discussions in the hallway. And also, don't forget to come to another session here after some time. We have a little bit of time for the break now. And thank you for attending. And a round of applause.
Thank you.